Tonight, you are about to discover what sleeping in ancient Egypt was really like. Not the Egypt of enormous pyramids, standing silent against the desert sky. Not the Egypt of glittering treasures hidden inside royal tombs. And not the Egypt of powerful pharaohs whose names have echoed across thousands of years. Those stories have been told many times before. Tonight, our journey belongs to someone else. To the countless ordinary people whose names have long since been forgotten, yet whose lives quietly shaped one of history's greatest civilizations. So, before you settle in, take a slow breath, allow your shoulders to relax, and let the noise of the modern world drift a little farther away. There's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. For the next little while, you are simply a traveler stepping into an evening nearly 3,500 years ago. The heat of the day is finally beginning to fade. Only a short time ago, the Egyptian sun ruled everything beneath it. The fields shimmered beneath its light, the stone walls absorbed its warmth, and even the smallest task demanded patience beneath the endless blue sky. But now, the world is changing. The sun sinks lower with every passing moment, painting the western horizon with deep shades of gold, amber, and soft crimson. Its reflection stretches across the gentle waters of the Nile, where the current continues its quiet journey, just as it has for countless generations. A warm breeze glides over the river. It carries with it the scent of fresh water, damp reeds, fertile black earth, and the faint aroma of evening fires beginning to burn throughout the nearby villages. The air feels softer now, kinder, the kind of evening that invites people outdoors after a long day of work. Not far away, a fisherman slowly pulls his small wooden boat onto the muddy riverbank. The rope slides across his shoulder as the boat settles onto the shore with a quiet scrape. Tomorrow, before sunrise, he will return to the water once again. But tonight, his work is finished. Nearby, a group of white ibises circles lazily overhead before disappearing into the tall papyrus growing along the edge of the river. The last swallows dart through the evening sky, catching insects that dance in the warm air. Somewhere in the distance, a donkey lets out one tired call before falling silent. Life continues all around you, but nothing feels hurried. There are no engines, no distant highways, no glowing screens competing for your attention. Only the gentle rhythm of a civilization that has learned to move with the river instead of against the clock. As you begin walking along a narrow path beside the Nile, the ground beneath your feet feels firm but uneven. Tiny stones press softly beneath your sandals. On one side, the river flows peacefully through the fading light. On the other, fields of grain sway gently in the evening breeze, their golden heads glowing beneath the final rays of the sun. Ahead, small homes built from sun-dried mudbrick begin to appear. Thin trails of smoke rise from their rooftops, curling quietly into the darkening sky. Families are returning home. Children laugh as they chase one another through the narrow lanes. A woman balances a clay jar upon her shoulder with practiced ease. An elderly man pauses outside his doorway to exchange a few quiet words with a passing neighbor before disappearing inside. The day is ending exactly as it has ended thousands of times before, calmly, patiently, without hurry, and as the last light slowly slips beyond the horizon, you realize something very simple. Tonight, this ancient village will become your home, As the final glow of the sun slips beneath the horizon, the village begins to change. The laughter of children grows quieter. The footsteps along the narrow paths become fewer. One by one, families disappear behind thick mud brick walls, carrying with them the simple routines that have marked the end of each day for countless generations. You follow the same path. The air is noticeably cooler now. Not cold, at least not yet, but wonderfully gentle after the blazing afternoon sun. It is easy to imagine ancient Egypt as endlessly hot. After all, when most of us picture this land, we think of bright deserts stretching far into the distance beneath an unforgiving sky. But life here follows a rhythm that outsiders often forget. The greatest heat belongs to the middle of the day. By evening, the earth slowly begins releasing the warmth it gathered beneath the sun, and a pleasant breeze drifts across the Nile. Many people actually welcome this hour more than any other. Work is finished. The fields have been watered. The animals have been fed. For a little while, there is nothing left to hurry toward. Ahead of you stands a simple home. Compared with modern houses, it seems surprisingly modest. There are no large windows, no glass, no painted walls, no polished stone floors. Instead, thick mud brick walls rise quietly from the earth itself, their warm color almost identical to the soil beneath your feet. At first glance, the house appears almost plain, yet every part of it has been built with purpose. Mud brick may not sound impressive, but it is one of the greatest inventions of the ancient world, made from Nile mud, mixed with straw, and dried beneath the Egyptian sun. These bricks keep the heat outside during the day, while helping the interior remain cooler for much longer. Without electricity, without air conditioning, people learned to build homes that worked together with nature rather than fighting against it. As you step closer, you notice the doorway is lower than you expected. You instinctively lower your head before entering. Inside, everything immediately feels different. The sounds of the village soften. The thick walls muffle distant voices until they become little more than gentle echoes. Only the occasional call of a bird or the quiet bray of a donkey reaches your ears. The room is lit by the warm glow of a single oil lamp. Its small flame dances gently whenever the evening breeze slips through the doorway. The light is soft, nothing like the bright white bulbs we know today. Instead, every object is wrapped in warm amber shadows that make the room feel calm and inviting. The floor beneath your sandals is smooth, packed earth. Years of careful sweeping have left its surface firm beneath your feet. Around the room sit woven baskets filled with grain. Clay jars stand quietly against the walls, protecting precious water, beer, oil, and dried food from the day's heat. A few simple wooden stools rest nearby. Nothing here feels unnecessary. Every object has earned its place through daily use. There is a quiet beauty in such simplicity, without shelves crowded by possessions, without endless distractions. The home feels strangely peaceful. For a moment you simply stand and listen. Outside, the Nile continues its endless journey through the darkness. Its waters have shaped every part of life here. The food, the homes, the seasons, even the rhythm of sleep itself. You begin to understand that this house is more than a place to escape the night. It is a refuge from the sun, a place where the body can finally rest after hours beneath the Egyptian sky. And somewhere deeper inside the home, a small oil lamp flickers beside the place, where you, too, will soon prepare for sleep. The little lamp continues to burn with a quiet, steady flame, filling the room with a warm amber glow. Outside, darkness has now settled completely across the village. Only the moon and countless stars remain above the Nile, brighter than almost anything you have ever seen. Without electric lights washing away the night sky, every constellation seems close enough to touch. For a few peaceful moments, no one says very much. There's no television playing in the background, no phones waiting to be checked, no clock reminding anyone that it is getting late. People simply know the day's work is over. It is time to slow down. A simple evening meal is placed before you. It is nothing extravagant. Fresh bread, baked earlier that day, a few onions, perhaps lentils or beans that have been slowly cooked until tender, dates gathered from nearby palms, figs when they are in season, and a cup of beer. To a modern visitor, drinking beer before bed might seem unusual. But Egyptian beer is very different from the strong drinks many people imagine today. It is thick, nourishing, and made from barley or emmer wheat. For countless families, it is simply another part of the daily meal, providing both calories and clean hydration. As you eat, the conversation remains soft. There's no need to rush. Tomorrow will arrive soon enough. A child yawns beside the fire. Another quietly leans against a parent's shoulder, already struggling to keep tired eyes open. One by one, the clay bowls are emptied. The last pieces of bread disappear. Someone carefully pours a little water over their hands before drying them with a piece of linen. Nothing is wasted. Every drop of oil, every loaf of bread, every woven basket, every clay jar. Life beside the Nile depends upon respecting what the river provides. The small oil lamp burns lower. Its flame grows shorter as the oil slowly disappears. Another lamp is gently extinguished. The room becomes darker. The shadows along the walls deepen. Outside, the village has become almost silent. Somewhere far away, a dog barks only once before falling quiet again. A donkey shifts its weight in a nearby shelter. Palm leaves rustle softly whenever the breeze passes between them. The river continues its endless whisper. You begin to notice something surprising. The silence is not empty. It is alive. Every small sound has room to breathe. The flutter of an insect's wings, the crackle of a fading fire, the distant splash of water somewhere along the river bank, the quiet footsteps of someone finishing one last chore before sleep. Without realizing it, your own breathing has become slower. The hurried rhythm of the modern world already feels strangely distant. No emails are waiting. No alarms demand your attention. No bright screens pull your eyes away from the darkness. Instead, the evening asks almost nothing of you, only that you rest. As the final lamp is adjusted and the room grows even dimmer, your attention slowly turns toward the place where you will spend the night. Compared with the comfortable beds of today, it may surprise you more than anything else you have seen so far. The place prepared for your sleep looks unfamiliar at first. If you have imagined a soft mattress covered with thick blankets, ancient Egypt is about to surprise you. The bed standing before you is simple, yet carefully made. A sturdy wooden frame lifts you above the floor, allowing cooler air to move beneath, while keeping insects and dust farther away. Not every family owns a raised bed. Many people sleep on woven reed mats spread across the ground. Others rest on simple wooden platforms covered with linen. The choice often depends on a family's means, but comfort is measured differently here than it is today. Your eyes are drawn to something resting where you expect to find a pillow. Instead of feathers or soft stuffing, there is a smooth, curved headrest carved from wood. At first it seems impossible. How could anyone sleep on something so hard? Yet for the people of ancient Egypt, this is perfectly ordinary. The curved support gently cradles the neck while keeping the head slightly raised above the bedding. In the warm climate, this also helps keep the face cooler during the night and protects carefully styled hair from becoming flattened while sleeping. At first, the thought makes you smile. It feels strange, almost uncomfortable. But then you remember that someone living thousands of years in the future might find your own mattress just as unusual. Comfort is often something we learn, not something we are born knowing. A folded piece of clean linen has been placed across the bed. Egyptian linen is famous throughout the ancient world. Made from flax grown beside the Nile, it feels light against your skin and breathes easily in the evening air. Heavy blankets are unnecessary for much of the year. The day's heat still lingers within the walls, slowly escaping into the cool night. Most people sleep wearing very little. A simple linen garment is enough. Some children curl beneath a light cloth. Others fall asleep exactly where exhaustion finds them after a long day of play. Nearby, another family member quietly rolls out a woven mat. There is no complaint that one bed is larger than another, no discussion about expensive mattresses or perfect sleeping positions. Rest itself is the greatest luxury after a day of honest work. The little oil lamp continues to flicker. Its flame is now much smaller than before, casting long shadows that dance across the mudbrick walls. Someone carefully shields it with a hand while trimming the wick. Oil is valuable. Every drop matters. Soon, even this small light will disappear. Outside, the village has become almost completely silent. Only the soft murmur of the Nile remains. It has flowed through the darkness every night for thousands of years, carrying cool water from distant lands, asking for nothing in return. You remove your sandals and place them neatly beside the bed. The packed earth beneath your feet still holds a trace of warmth gathered during the afternoon. You sit for a moment. The wooden frame creaks softly beneath your weight. The linen feels cool. The headrest still looks unusual. Yet somehow, the room already feels safe. The thick mud brick walls protect you from the outside world. The worries of tomorrow belong to tomorrow. Tonight, there is only the quiet rhythm of breathing, the gentle whisper of the river, and a sky filled with more stars than most modern eyes ever have the chance to see. Slowly, almost without noticing, your eyelids begin to grow heavier. The ancient night has only just begun. You lower yourself onto the simple wooden bed and allow your body to become still. At first, sleep does not come immediately. Everything around you feels unfamiliar. The gentle curve of the wooden headrest, the cool linen beneath your hands, the scent of warm clay and burning oil lingering softly in the room. Your ears begin noticing sounds that would normally disappear beneath the noise of a modern city. The Nile never truly falls silent. Its current moves patiently through the darkness, brushing against reeds that sway with every passing breeze. Somewhere along the riverbank, a fish briefly breaks the surface before disappearing beneath the water once again. The splash is small, almost delicate. A few moments later, you hear the quiet chorus of insects beginning their nightly song. They have waited all day for the cooler air. Now they fill the darkness with a gentle rhythm that seems to rise and fall like slow breathing. Outside, the palm leaves whisper softly whenever the wind passes through them. The sound is almost impossible to describe. Not quite rustling, not quite singing. Just a steady reminder that even in the deepest hours of night, the world around you never truly stops moving. The room grows darker. The little oil lamp finally flickers one last time before its flame quietly disappears. For a brief moment, your eyes struggle to adjust. Then the moonlight slowly finds its way inside. A pale silver glow slips through the doorway and across the packed earth floor. It reaches the edge of your bed before fading into the shadows. Without artificial light, the night feels completely different. The darkness is not frightening. It feels natural, gentle, almost comforting. You look upward. Through the open courtyard above, the sky stretches farther than you have ever seen. Thousands upon thousands of stars shine with remarkable clarity. The Milky Way forms a pale ribbon across the heavens, untouched by city lights. The people living here have looked at this same sky every night of their lives. For them, these stars are familiar companions. For you, they feel almost overwhelming. The evening breeze becomes slightly cooler. You pull the light linen cloth a little closer around yourself. Although Egypt is famous for its scorching days, the nights can become surprisingly comfortable, especially near the river. The thick mudbrick walls release the warmth they collected during the afternoon, keeping the room pleasant while the desert beyond slowly cools beneath the stars. Somewhere nearby, a cat quietly walks across the courtyard. Its soft paws make almost no sound. Cats are welcome visitors here. Long before they became beloved pets around the world, they protected Egyptian homes by keeping rats and mice away from precious grain stores. The little animal pauses for only a moment before disappearing once again into the darkness. A distant dog barks. Another answers from somewhere farther away. Then silence returns. Not complete silence, but the peaceful silence of a sleeping village. A silence filled with breathing, flowing water, moving leaves, sleeping animals, the occasional creak of wood settling as the night grows cooler. Your eyes become heavier. The worries you carried from another time seem strangely unimportant now. There are no schedules waiting for you tomorrow, no messages to answer, no clocks glowing beside your bed. Only the steady rhythm of nature surrounding you from every direction. The Nile continues its endless journey toward the sea. The stars continue their slow passage overhead, and somewhere beyond the walls of this quiet little home, ancient Egypt sleeps beside you. Sleep finally begins to find you, not all at once, but gently. Your breathing slows, your muscles relax, the sounds around you become softer, blending together until they feel like part of a single peaceful rhythm. For the ancient Egyptians, the night was more than simply a time to rest. It was a mysterious part of every day, filled with meanings that reached far beyond ordinary life. Sleep allowed the body to recover from hours spent beneath the relentless Egyptian sun. But dreams were often believed to carry messages. Some thought they revealed hidden truths. Others believed they offered warnings, guidance, or comfort from the gods. A particularly vivid dream might be discussed the following morning. Priests in certain temples were even known to help interpret dreams, searching for symbols that might reveal something important about the future or explain events from the past. Whether every family believed these ideas in exactly the same way, No one can say. Ancient Egypt existed for thousands of years, and beliefs changed from one generation to another. Yet dreams clearly held a special place in Egyptian life. As your eyes remain closed, the world outside continues without asking anything of you. The moon slowly climbs higher above the Nile. Its pale light washes over quiet rooftops, narrow streets, and rows of sleeping palm trees. Far away, the great temples also rest beneath the same sky. By now, most of their massive courtyards have fallen silent. The ceremonies of the day have ended. Even the sacred places seem to breathe more slowly beneath the stars. Somewhere, an owl calls across the darkness. Its voice echoes briefly before fading into the stillness. A gentle breeze slips through the doorway once again. It carries the cool scent of the river and the rich soil left behind by the Nile's annual floods. Without those floods, this civilization could never have existed. Every loaf of bread, every field of grain, every flax plant woven into the linen covering your body, all began with the patient waters, flowing only a short walk from where you now rest. The village remains asleep. A baby stirs for only a moment before settling again. Someone quietly turns over on a nearby bed. Wood creaks softly, then silence returns. You begin to understand something that people living here never needed to explain. Life in ancient Egypt followed the same steady rhythm every single day. The river rose, the crops grew, the sun crossed the sky. Evening arrived. Night brought rest. Morning began everything again. There was comfort in that rhythm. It asked for patience instead of speed, consistency instead of constant change. Perhaps that is why this quiet little home already feels strangely familiar. The worries of another lifetime seem impossibly distant now. The ancient night asks nothing more of you than to rest beneath the same stars that watched over countless generations before you. And as the hours quietly pass, somewhere beyond the eastern horizon, the first hint of a new day is already waiting. Long before the sun appears above the eastern horizon, the world begins to change once again. At first, the difference is almost impossible to notice. The darkness remains. The stars still cover the sky. The village is quiet. Yet the air feels different, cooler than it was only an hour before. This is often the coldest part of the entire night. You take a slow breath. The breeze drifting in from the Nile feels fresh against your skin, carrying the scent of water and damp earth that has rested peacefully beneath the stars. Somewhere beyond the village, reeds sway gently along the riverbank. A small bird stirs in its nest, but does not yet begin to sing. Even the insects seem quieter now, as though the whole world is waiting together. You open your eyes for a moment. The sky above is still dark, but no longer completely black. A faint ribbon of deep blue has begun to spread across the eastern horizon. The stars nearest the horizon slowly fade, one after another. Not because they disappear, but because morning is quietly returning. Inside the house, everyone is still asleep. The room feels peaceful. The little oil lamp has long since gone out, leaving only the cool silver light of the fading moon. The mudbrick walls continue protecting the warmth gathered during yesterday's sun, making the room surprisingly comfortable despite the cool air outside. You understand now why these homes changed so little over thousands of years. They worked. Simple materials, simple designs, built by generations who understood the land better than any written instruction ever could. Outside, another bird begins to sing. Only one. Its clear voice carries through the still air before silence returns once more. A few moments later, another answers from farther away. The village is slowly waking, though most people have not yet left their beds. The Nile never stopped flowing during the night. It continued exactly as it always has, patient and unhurried. Soon its waters will once again carry fishermen onto the river. Soon farmers will walk toward their fields. Soon ovens will be lit. Bread will be baked. Children will laugh. The quiet streets will fill with familiar footsteps. But not yet. For one final moment, ancient Egypt belongs to the night. You remain still, listening to the peaceful sounds surrounding you. The gentle breeze, the distant river, the first birds greeting the coming dawn. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels loud. Only calm. Only balance. Only another ordinary morning beginning exactly as thousands before it have begun. And perhaps that is the greatest surprise of all. Sleeping in ancient Egypt was never about magnificent pyramids or legendary pharaohs. It was about ordinary people. People who worked hard beneath the sun, returned home to their families, shared simple meals, found comfort inside homes built with wisdom, gathered over generations, lay beneath the same stars you have watched tonight, closed their eyes, dreamed their dreams, and welcomed another sunrise beside the eternal Nile. As the first golden light finally touches the tops of the distant palm trees, your own journey quietly comes to an end. The village awakens. The river continues its endless journey. And somewhere, carried gently on the morning breeze, ancient Egypt whispers its final good morning. The first rays of sunlight slowly spread across the eastern sky, replacing the cool blues of night with gentle shades of gold. The stars quietly disappear, one by one, not because they have gone anywhere, but because the light of a new day has finally returned. Around you, ancient Egypt awakens without hurry. There is no sudden rush, no loud beginning, only countless small moments that, together, welcome another morning beside the Nile. A nearby rooster calls into the fresh air. Moments later, another answers from somewhere deeper within the village. A donkey shakes itself awake, its harness softly rattling before falling still once more. Somewhere behind a mudbrick wall, someone quietly opens a wooden door. The sound is gentle, almost comforting. Smoke begins to rise once again from clay ovens as the first cooking fires are carefully lit. Before long, the familiar scent of fresh bread drifts through the cool morning air. It mixes with the fragrance of damp earth, river water, and the sweet aroma of date palms warming beneath the first touch of sunlight. Families slowly begin their day. Children rub the sleep from their eyes. Parents quietly prepare the morning meal. Clay jars are lifted. Water is carried. Simple conversations begin once more. Nothing feels hurried. The rhythm remains the same. The Nile continues flowing exactly as it did yesterday, and exactly as it will tomorrow. Fishermen untie their boats from wooden posts, driven into the riverbank. Their oars dip silently into the calm water, disturbing only the reflection of the brightening sky. In the distance, birds rise together from the papyrus reeds, circling gracefully above the river before disappearing toward the fields. Farmers begin walking familiar paths they have followed for years, carrying simple tools across their shoulders. The village slowly fills with quiet movement. A potter opens the door to his workshop. A baker prepares the day's first loaves. A weaver rolls up the linen that rested overnight. Another ordinary day has begun, and perhaps that is the greatest lesson this journey has offered. Ancient Egypt was not built only by kings whose names were carved into stone, nor only by architects who raised towering monuments that still stand today. It was built by ordinary people, people who rose with the sun, worked beneath its warmth, returned home to those they loved, found peace within simple walls, and closed their eyes each night beneath one of the clearest skies on earth. Their lives were different from ours in countless ways, yet in one quiet moment, just before sleep, they were not so different at all. Like us, they searched for comfort after a long day. They listened to familiar sounds outside their homes. They hoped for peaceful dreams, and they welcomed each new morning with another chance to begin again. As you slowly leave this ancient village behind, the sounds of the Nile begin to fade. The birds grow more distant. The voices become softer, until only a gentle calm remains. Thank you for spending this peaceful night in ancient Egypt. May your own evening be just as quiet, your sleep just as restful, and your dreams just as peaceful beneath the endless stars. Good night.